Welcome to Lesson 7 of MySci Unit 22, Using Our Resources Wisely. In Lesson 7, students will build on their understanding of human impacts on Earth systems by answering the question, how did the people of Samsu change their impact on Earth systems? They will figure out that humans can make small changes that have a great positive impact on Earth systems. In the Engage portion of this lesson, students will use a carbon footprint calculator to determine how much of an impact their current choices make. Students will answer questions about the forms of transportation they use in order to travel, what types of food they eat, their home environment, what they use, and how much waste they generate. For example, students may say they get to school by taking the school bus. To get from their school to their house may take them roughly 10 minutes. Next, students will consider how to reduce their impact by making small changes such as walking or biking to school. Once students have completed the interactive, they will analyze graphs to determine how their impact compares to others by clicking the tabs at the top of the screen. For example, for this sample scenario, the student's footprint is 12.18 tons of CO2. Implementing the changes they chose, such as walking or biking to school, would reduce their impact by 2.29 tons. This compares to the world average of 4.88 tons. Students can then click the tab labeled Country. They can type in Denmark and Malawi and generate the graphs to analyze and compare how different countries affect Earth systems through their choices. In the Explore portion of this lesson, students will revisit the online news articles from Lesson 6, focusing only on those articles that describe negative human impacts on the environment. Students will read one article projected in front of the whole class and explain using Post-its what could be done to reduce the negative impact being described. For example, students could describe how using alternative energy would decrease carbon dioxide concentrations in the atmosphere. As a result, this would decrease the rate of ocean acidification and the death of coral reefs. In the Explain portion of this lesson, students will determine who came up with similar ideas of how to reduce the negative impact described in the article. They will repeat this process for multiple articles. Next, students will sort and categorize their Post-its. For example, students may categorize based on the spheres that would be positively affected, the level of impact the change would have, or if the change is individual, community-based, or global. In the Elaborate portion of this lesson, students will construct explanations about what they could do today to help reduce or eliminate a negative impact on a system. Next, they will read The Tree Lady. This is a read-aloud book, and the read-aloud guide can be found in the teacher pages. The read-aloud guide allows you to point out how the different Earth systems were impacted by Kate's decision to plant trees, and draw connections between Kate and Soren Hermansen from the book Energy Island. Students will record their reflections in their student journal. They should recognize that Kate's decision to plant trees affected the biosphere because it provided a food source and habitat for animals. This discussion can be extended to involve the other spheres as well. For example, trees also affect the atmosphere by removing carbon dioxide from the air. Additionally, their roots stabilize the soil, affecting the geosphere. What is important in both The Tree Lady and Energy Island is that the action of one person inspired a community to make a change that positively impacted the Earth. In the Evaluate portion of this lesson, students will complete a formative assessment. They will reread Energy Island and rewatch the video about Samsu in order to explain how the people of Samsu changed their impact on each of the 4 Earth systems. Students will then discuss why it is so amazing that they are able to use no fossil fuels on their island and any questions they have. By the end of this lesson, students will have described some ways that humans have reduced their impacts on Earth systems and identified simple ways to reduce impact.